The story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is one of the most powerful stories of courage in the Bible. Even if you've never read the Bible before, this story is easy to understand because it speaks about pressure, fear, faith, and standing firm when everyone else gives in. The story takes place in the ancient empire of Babylon. Babylon was one of the most powerful kingdoms in the world at that time. Its king, Nebuchadnezzar II, ruled with great authority. He had conquered many nations and believed that his power was unstoppable. Among the nations Babylon conquered was the land of Judah. Many young men from Judah were taken captive and brought to Babylon to be trained in the king's service. 4 of these young men were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. In Babylon, their names were changed. Hananiah became Shadrach, Mishael became Meshach, and Azariah became Abednego. Even though they were far from home, far from their families, and surrounded by a foreign culture, these young men remained faithful to the God of Israel. One day, King Nebuchadnezzar decided to build a massive golden statue. It was about 90 feet tall and 9 feet wide, towering high above the land. He set it up on the plain of Dura and called together all the important leaders of the kingdom to attend a grand dedication ceremony. When everyone had gathered, a royal announcement was made. The command was simple but serious. When the music began to play, horns, flutes, harps, and many other instruments, every person must bow down and worship the golden statue. Anyone who refused would immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace of fire. This was not a small oven. It was a large industrial furnace used for burning and melting materials. The heat inside would have been intense, deadly within moments. Soon the music started. Across the plain, thousands of people fell to the ground in obedience. Officials, soldiers, governors, everyone bowed. This was not a small oven. It was a large industrial furnace used for burning and melting materials. The heat inside would have been intense, deadly within moments. Soon the music started. Across the plain, thousands of people fell to the ground in obedience. Officials, soldiers, governors, everyone bowed. But 3 men remained standing: Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They did not bow. It wasn't because they wanted attention. It wasn't because they were rebellious. It was because they believed worship belongs to God alone. Bowing to the statue would have meant denying their faith. Some Babylonian officials quickly noticed. Perhaps they were jealous of the positions these young men held. They rushed to the king and accused them. "Your Majesty, these men pay no attention to you. They do not serve your gods or worship the golden image you have set up." King Nebuchadnezzar was furious. His pride was wounded. He had given these men authority in his kingdom. How dare they disobey him publicly? He ordered them to be brought before him. When they stood before the king, he gave them one more chance. "Is it true," he asked, "that you do not worship the image I have set up? I will give you another opportunity. When you hear the music, bow down and worship. But if you refuse, you will be thrown immediately into the blazing furnace. And what God will be able to rescue you from my hand?" The pressure must have been overwhelming. They were standing before the most powerful ruler in the world. A furnace was ready nearby. Death was only moments away. But their response was calm and steady. "O King Nebuchadnezzar," they said, "we do not need to defend ourselves before you. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know that we will not serve your gods or worship the image you have set up." Notice what they said: even if he does not. Their faith was not based on a guarantee of rescue. They trusted God whether he saved them or not. The king's face burned with anger. He ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than usual. The flames roared so fiercely that when the strongest soldiers tied up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and threw them in, the heat killed the soldiers instantly. The 3 men fell into the blazing fire. Then something astonishing happened. King Nebuchadnezzar jumped to his feet in shock. "Did we not throw 3 men into the fire?" he asked. "Yes, your majesty," his advisors replied. "But I see 4 men walking around in the fire," the king said, "unbound and unharmed, and the fourth looks like a son of the gods." Instead of being burned, the 3 men were walking freely inside the flames. The fire that was meant to destroy them had burned away only their ropes. The king approached the furnace and shouted, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out." And they walked out. The officials gathered around them. They saw that the fire had not harmed their bodies. Not a hair on their heads was singed. Their clothes were not burned. There was not even the smell of smoke on them. The king was amazed. The same ruler who had demanded worship now publicly honored their God. "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego," he declared, "who has sent his angel and rescued his servants. They trusted in him and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve any god except their own." Then he promoted them to even higher positions in the province of Babylon. This story is not just about surviving fire. It is about standing firm under pressure. It is about faith that does not depend on outcomes. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego chose obedience over safety. They chose faithfulness over fear. And in the middle of the fire, they were not alone. That is why this story has been told for thousands of years, because it reminds us that courage is not the absence of fear. It is choosing what is right, even when the flames are rising around you.